Hey and welcome to the MX-5 guide on Tsukuba in iRacing. We have a new season with an updated car, new tires, new dampers, new brakes, new everything. So there will be an updated guide series on my channel which will cover every single track. I will upload my lap files on the community Discord. You can use them to practice against the lap I will show you in this video or ask for questions there if you need any help. You can also find me streaming on Twitch or book me for coaching. All details are linked in the description down below. Approach the first turn on the far left edge of the track in third gear and use the wall on the left side as marker for braking. You want to go hard on the brakes and shift all the way down into first gear. Turn in towards the apex, shift into second gear, and as you can see it on my wheel, be ready to counter steer. The car is very unstable this season and the best secret I have for you is to keep it going straight when you downshift into the low gears. Otherwise the rear will spin on you and your lap is done before it even started. On the bottom left you can see the second trick I'm using to keep the car stable while downshifting into first gear. A manual blip. Now what does it mean? I briefly step on the throttle for a split second at the same time I'm downshifting into first gear. Without going into too many technical details, this technique allows you to match the engine revs with the speed of the car, which in return makes it more stable when you downshift into a low gear. So blip the throttle, shift into first gear and aim for the apex. Coast towards the apex, carefully manage your speed and try to be early on the throttle, but don't be too aggressive on it because the car is still unstable on the rear. Contrary to the past seasons, you also want to avoid the curb on the inside because it unsettles your car too much and it's not worth to attack it. Attack the curb and use the kink in the track as marker for braking. You want to brake along the right side of the track and shift all the way down into first gear again. Now, there shouldn't be a need to blip the throttle here because we are going in a straight line, but you can still do it if it makes you feel more confident. In this turn, there's another thing which we need to keep in mind: the banking. As you can see it here, the track is banked on the inside, and since our car is quite unstable while we are still braking, we don't really want to go there. The simple solution: we will go around. Stick to the right side of the track and turn in when the car is slower and the track flattens again. Coast into the apex, try to be early on the throttle and slowly engage it while you accelerate out of the turn. Swing to the far left edge of the track and lift briefly before you turn in and aim for the inside curb. A straight is coming up, which is why it's important that you engage the throttle early again and accelerate through the next turn. Otherwise you will lose some time down the road. This section can be tight, but it's important that you treat it like a straight and don't let go from the throttle unless you are about to lose your car. Stick to the left edge of the track and use the kink in the track as marker for braking. In the upcoming turn we will use both tricks that we learned before. Stick to the left edge of the track because the track is banked on the inside and blip the throttle while you shift down into first gear. You can't really avoid to not brake into the banking because the whole turn is banked, so the blip is quite necessary to keep the car stable. Drive around the banking like in turn 2 and trail brake towards the apex. Try to be early on the throttle to carry your speed into the next straight, but also be careful you don't want to touch the curb on the inside here. It almost always leads to a spin because you simply can't accelerate over it. Get ready for the last turn by sticking to the left edge of the track, stay in third gear and look for the blue box on the left side. You want to tap the brakes shortly before you reach it and aim for a smooth line around the turn. Don't touch the curb, the car can't handle it, just stick to the inside and slowly accelerate towards the finish line. Last but not least, the AstroTurf is part of the track. You don't get an incident point here, so make sure that you use it to carry as much speed as possible towards the next lap. That was the guide lap. The cockpit lap is coming up next. Please leave a like when you enjoyed the video. I wish you all the best for the next week and see you next time.